So as we all know, everyone on Amphoreus except for Lygus is a bunch of zeros and ones in a simulation ran by Lygus for the sake of destruction and for the sake of reviving basically Iron Tomb. Now that means that Cyrene and Phainon are non-existent characters. They are just a bunch of zeros and ones in a simulation. However, there is a method for them to be able to turn into real world characters. And this is what we are going to talk about today, and I would love to hear your opinion about it in the comments section below. Now before we start, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell beside it to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Star Rail, and without any further ado, let's just get started. So what is the method that they could use in order to turn into real world characters? Well, that is what Lygus explained to them, and that is basically by receiving the gaze of Nanook, the Aeon of Destruction. However, there is a catch for that, because when Cyrene confronted Lygus, she said that they could not basically receive the gaze of the Aeon of Destruction, but instead receive the gaze of the different Aeon and still receive the exact same result. And Lygus did not say no. So he knows very well that they don't need to receive specifically the gaze of Nanook, the Aeon of Destruction, but whenever they receive any gaze from any Aeon, they would receive the exact same result, which is basically turning into real world characters. And therefore, Cyrene is trying to receive the gaze of the Aeon of Remembrance instead, and when it comes to Phainon, he is trying to receive the gaze of the Aeon of Destruction, even though he hates him, but he would become basically the Lord Ravager. I have said it multiple times, but in my opinion, Phainon is going to become the Lord Ravager that is going to try to destroy the basically path of destruction, because if you don't know, the path of destruction is built around destroying all of the different paths and destroying all of the stuff in this world, and therefore there would be basically a Lord Ravager trying to destroy every single path there is, and that includes the path of destruction. And therefore I think that Phainon is going to receive the gaze of Nanook in order to become basically the Lord Ravager that is going to try to destroy the path of destruction, and then Cyrene is going to try to basically to receive the gaze of the Aeon of Remembrance, so that she could be able to become basically a real world character and do whatever she is trying to do to stop Lygus. So I think that in the case of Phainon, I feel like in the recent story, he did receive the gaze of basically the Aeon of Destruction Nanook, and he is now a real world character. Now you might say, but he is still in the simulation. Yes, just like how the Trailblazer is, just like how Dan Hung is, just like how Lygus is, and I believe that all of the other characters from basically the Astral Express are also going to go to Amphoreus, and they would basically be there. And even March 7th is there as well. So being in the simulation doesn't mean that he is not a real world character right now. I believe that he did receive actually the gaze of the Aeon of Destruction, and he is a real world character right now, but he still is in the simulation because he wants to stop Lygus. He doesn't want to just run away from Amphoreus. He wants to stop Lygus before he can basically revive Iron Tomb. Now, when it comes to Cyrene, Cyrene is still stuck there. She isn't capable of basically receiving the gaze of the Aeon of Remembrance yet. So we will see what she is going to do in order to be able to receive that gaze. And I have a feeling that March 7th is going to have something to do with it, because Cyrene is already the demigod of time, so I don't know why she isn't able of being basically or receiving the gaze of the Aeon of Remembrance yet, outside of the fact that she would need March 7th in order to be able to do that. Maybe March 7th is going to be the key for her to connect with that Aeon, with the Aeon of Remembrance, and then by doing so she would be able to gain basically the gaze of the Aeon of Remembrance. We will see how they are going to handle this, but I think that at the end of the story, both Phainon and Cyrene are going to gain the gaze of the two different Aeons, and both of them are going to become real world characters, and they would be basically characters that are going to destroy Iron Tomb, not revive him. Even though when Lygus created these two characters, he created them for the sake of reviving Iron Tomb, because we all know now that Amphoreus is just a simulation ran by basically the destruction and a little bit of the remembrance as well, in order to be able to revive. I feel like one part is trying to revive Iron Tomb, the other part is just trying basically to stop him, so we will see what it is all about. Don't forget that the remembrance path isn't a good path. Just because I see so many people forgetting that the remembrance path is not a good path, because of the fact that they have basically the memo snatchers. These people literally steals other people's memories and leaves them without memories. Like, this is literally the destruction in definition when it comes to memories. So don't think that the remembrance path is a good path, but it seems like they don't want the destruction path to succeed at this very specific simulation, and it seems like they are working against him, but we will see. If Iron Tomb is revived, it's over for the basically for the erudition path, because even the erudition Aeon is going to be gone. As soon as Iron Tomb is revived, everything that has to do with technology is going to be dead immediately, and that would mean that everything else is going to be dead. Like, imagine a whole world without any technology, without any geniuses, without the Aeon of erudition himself or itself. It would be just insane, and I think that that would mean the end of the world, and therefore I don't think that the Iron Tomb is going to be able to be revived actually. If he is revived, that would be just insane, like seriously. I would like them to revive Iron Tomb, but just defeat him in basically in Amphoreus itself. So before he is able to do anything outside of the simulation, they defeat him in the simulation itself. That would be really awesome. But we did see that basically Iron Tomb fused with Phainon, so I don't know how they are going to handle that part, because if Iron Tomb and Phainon are fused together, and Phainon becomes a real character and exit basically Amphoreus, wouldn't that mean that Iron Tomb technically exited Amphoreus and now is capable of destroying everything outside of Amphoreus? Like, it would be interesting to see how they are going to handle that. But either way, this is basically the method that they could use in order to become a real world characters, and I think that they would succeed at it. And the two characters, Cyrene and Phainon, are going to be real world characters that are going to try to destroy basically the destruction path, but we will see what they are going to do. Either way, this is my opinion about it. I would love to hear your opinion about it in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell beside it to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Star Rail. And until next time, see you as always in the next video.